We'll go ahead and let you get going, okay?
Okay. Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. The sun has shone for the last 2 days. Nobody died. Haven't seen our families since Saturday night, so the coaches have been hard at work. Kids had a good Sunday. Excited about our matchup this week with South Florida. Look forward to getting some things corrected that we need to get corrected after the game against Georgia State Saturday. Disappointing not be able to get a win down there against a very good team. And excited about the next matchup.
Coach, can you talk about the biggest challenges that USF presents for you and some of the correctable things that you feel like that you can get taken care of for your team this week as you progress into the week?
Well, I think, South Florida, just like we saw last year, I mean, they have a lot of the same guys back this year. So, good size, really good team speed, both sides of the ball, skill positions. Defensively, I thought they played very well against Cincinnati. They turned the ball over a lot on offense last week and still held Cincinnati to 28 points. So I think that says a lot about how their defense is coming around. I think you kind of have to throw the Notre Dame game out with as many players as they were playing without due to COVID. So, they have kids playing against Notre Dame that aren't even in the two deep. So I think you got to kind of toss that game out a little bit. They've had their issues at quarterback, trying to figure out who, they got talent. They got 4 different quarterbacks they've played. All 4 are talented players. One transfer from North Carolina, another one grad transfer from is one of the SWAC schools. And then they've got the freshman, number 12, and then they got McLeod, who played against us last year. 12 started against Cincinnati. I mean, obviously just an extremely talented young athlete, but he's a true freshman, and he looked like a true freshman. Really talented. It's just, it's no different than any other kid in that situation. He has not seen everything, that he's going to see on a down after down deal, and he struggled a little bit. They played the kid from North Carolina. He did some okay things. It looks like he's just a kind of a guy that just really knows how to operate the offense, has a good arm, pocket guy. But really McLeod, I thought came in and gave them the best opportunity to score and move the offense down the field against Cincinnati. Now, obviously they see those kids every day, so they have different opinions, but I thought that he had better chemistry with his wideouts. His mobility gave you the run threat. I thought he threw the ball better than what he threw it against us last year, and I thought he played well against us last year. So I think you'll see McLeod, but again, I'm the coach at East Carolina, not South Florida, so they may have other things going on there.
Coach, when you evaluate the film, specifically with the offensive front, how much of the issues right now are guys maybe not knowing what to do versus guys just getting beat? Could you put a percentage on one versus the other?
I wouldn't say not knowing what to do as much as just experience in doing it. And what I mean by that, Nashad Strother has played 3 different positions in 2 weeks, and as just a normal person may say, going from right guard, right tackle to left tackle is not a big deal. It's different, and there's different things. You're working with a different guy. I think there's some of that. I think there's Avery Jones playing his first college start. We didn't play well together. I think that's the big thing I saw. You had small mistakes that were causing us to get beat. When if we take the right footwork, or we work, you work better together on the sort to one side, you don't get beat. And so I think there is a continuity factor. I think there is a youth factor. You don't have Deonte and Noah right now. So, yes, you're two of your more experienced linemen. And so you brought in, guys that have not been together as much. So was there some of, a player here and there getting beat one-on-one? Yeah, it happened a couple of times. The bigger problem, it was just the mistakes that I would attribute to either continuity or just familiarity with the position they were playing last Saturday.
Coach, I was going to ask that very question about continuity. I know you're a man of not excuses, but 54 new players this year, having COVID, all the stuff going on, it does make a big difference, right?
It does. And we didn't have spring practice. You didn't have summer workouts. I mean, there's, and I'm 1 year in, to this job. So yeah, it screwed us a little bit, but nobody cares. I mean, once we start playing games, nobody cares. So nobody wants to hear excuses. Nobody wants to hear the reasons. All they care about is, you didn't beat Georgia State. So there's lots of reasons. I'll tell you, the one thing that really does piss me off is when people take shots at the kids, because if there's any group that it's not their fault, and that they're trying very hard to do what we're asking them to do, and they want to go out and play at a high level, it's our players. I like the players in our locker room. We have good culture in there. They're positive. They're going to play hard Saturday. They're going to play better Saturday. They're going to continue to improve. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get to go out and spend the afternoon with them.
Coach, kind of going on that and looking at, this is something you're not used to personally, just with losses and the record compared to your other stops. I'm curious, what are some of the week-to-week challenges or game-to-game that are different here with the jobs you've had in the past?
Well, I mean, I think that this job is very similar to Lenore-Ryan, very similar to the situation we inherited there. There's some similarities to the Citadel, but probably more to Lenore-Ryan. I said that many times. It pisses people off sometimes when I say that, because they don't want to hear that. But this is a great institution. It's a phenomenal place to be the football coach. It's got a really bright future. We're excited to be here. We're in the middle of a complete rebuild, and that is what it is. The challenges are all the things that you talk about when you, just like you said, I mean, we have so many new players. We have so many young players. Even our old players are young. I mean, Holton, who you consider an old player, he's got this year and 2 more years after this. And he's one of our old guys, so you have all the development stuff. And so the challenges are just, getting guys on the same page, whether you're talking about offensive line, secondary, the defense as a whole, the wide receivers in Holton, a couple of new running backs, whomever it is, it's getting everybody on the same page. It's, getting everybody to where they're functioning together better as one. It's cutting down on the mistakes. And that's really the big thing, is cutting down on the mistakes. Our players would come in and watch the film, and it's, you cut out a half a dozen mistakes here and there, and it's a completely different ball game. Well, that's what happens when you play veteran teams. You make a mistake, they make you pay for it. So, that's our big focus this week, is cutting down the mistakes, whether it's a pre-snap penalty procedurally, or it's working together in protection, or it's the secondary is rotating this way. It's, we got to make sure that we cut down on the mistakes, and we got to continue to push them to play hard and play fast, and, defensively run and hit, offensively attack and get north. It's those things.
Coach, can you talk about Deonte Smith and the impact of his absence? Will he be out this week? And how do you compensate with those absences on the offensive front?
Well, Deonte's our most experienced lineman, so obviously, not having him last week, it's going to leave a void there. Nashad Strother's a very good player. He's going to be a really good player, and just I can't say enough positive things about him. But you guys know better than I do how many starts Deonte has under his belt, but it's a large number. Whereas, Nashad, that was his second college start, and he started at 2 different positions. So just the experience factor is what you miss. The Deonte always has a high motor. So, you have that too. So, I'll be glad when he's back. I do expect him back fairly soon. I don't know if it'll be by the weekend or not.
Coach, going off that, is he getting any closer? And then also Demetrius Mooney, can Can you give us an update maybe on his status?
Noah's progressing. It's probably still going to be a while, but he's progressing. He's great with a positive attitude right now. He's trying to find his role as, a supporter of the guys on the field. I'm really proud of him with kind of the attitude he's taking with that. Demetrius, he battled some injury stuff, battled some health stuff there for a while. He's back in the role as far as traveling, and did some good things on special teams there Saturday, and so he's finding his spot.
Coach, can you talk about your philosophy overall in terms of trying to get Mason Garcia acclimated and getting him a little bit ready with the eligibility rules the way they are?
Right.
I know it's kind of a fine line between wanting to win games right now and trying to get him some experience as well.
Right. And he's very similar to what I was talking about with the South Florida kid. He's a freshman. It was the first time he'd ever, had a road game in his entire life. His first college snaps ever. Great attitude. Enjoyable kid to be around, working his tail off. He's getting better every day. We're getting him as many reps during the week as we can get him. And we'll continue to try to get him game reps when the situations arise. At the same time, we're going out there playing to win. And right now, Holton's experience and Holton's ability gives us a better chance right now. There will be a day, when Mason Garcia is the starting quarterback here. And, when that day comes, he'll be ready for it.
Coach, we talked a lot kind of leading up to the season and last game about going on the road and some of the logistics and travel and what that entails, especially this year. What did you learn and you can take from it to the next game as far as COVID and traveling, flying, anything that kind of stands out from that first experience?
It's all a pain in the butt. It's what we got to do, but it's, something as simple as, after we finish, walkthrough on Friday, the doctors tell us that, we've got to eat here at the facility instead of eating on the bus or the plane as we're traveling. Same thing, Saturday night. It's an inconvenience. It's not that big a deal, but still it's, 30 to 45 minutes on each end that holds you up. Instead of taking 2 buses from the airport to the hotel, we've got 5 buses from the airport to the hotel. It's an inconvenience. It's costing us more money, but it's what we got to do. You have to wear a mask the entire time you're on the bus, the entire time you're on the flight. And, it's an inconvenience, but it's what we got to do. So it's, a lot of inconveniences. Some of those are financial inconveniences. But it's what we got to do to operate right now. The good thing is once you get on the field, for the players, they go play. We're testing so much that, you feel like we have a pretty good shot at remaining safe. So it allows them to just go out there and just play football.
Coach, defensively, you guys have had stretches of good play and then maybe like an 8-minute stretch of poor play the first few games. But is it at least encouraging that at times the defense has strung together a number of stops and you feel like you're close there to having a good game?
I'm encouraged by exactly what you said. I'm encouraged by spots. And then, when you look at the periods where we have not played as well, it's usually one of those, you got a mistake and it's usually somebody set something the wrong way or somebody, fit something the wrong way. And it's usually with a younger player, and so those things are going to continue to improve. I thought we played, fairly well in the second half defensively, give up 1 score there in I think with 20 seconds left on the clock after, not getting a first down there deep in our own territory. So that's a pretty solid second half. Now, the first half, we had some big plays that we gave up, and the big plays resulted from mistakes. So we got to get those corrected.
Coach, coaches in the past have talked about playing a game, say in Atlanta or a game in Florida, and the recruiting value it might have in those areas. Does that still hold true?
Sure, it does. It would help a lot more if we could get out and be in the schools on Friday and see some games Friday night, and that way, the recruits, knew you were there, and then they know your team's playing down there. Because certainly Atlanta and Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando are all big recruiting areas for us. This is a weird year, but at least our name is down there. It would have been nice to be able to get a win in Atlanta. That would certainly help a lot more. But it's a weird year with the recruiting stuff.
Are there any other questions for Coach Houston? Okay, Coach, thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. See you later in the week.
Good luck.
Like you, sir.